Hey everybody, so what'd you think of my first single? Um, so the backstory to the whole thing of all this is I watched Joy Sparkle BS's video back at the hospital about a month ago. And not gonna lie, she's a very dear friend of mine. She and I have been talking for like about 2-3 years. Um, and it was just like almost about a month ago when we finally started talking when she allowed me on her YouNow stream. But anyway, I digress. She did a video called Back at the Hospital, and the topics that she was saying and the tone of her voice just hit so close to home. It she had this she always talking monotone. So she was kind of like this, a little blasé. She was blasé. She had this, not exactly this woe is me or I give up sort of tone to her voice, nor look to her face, but it was this loneliness. It was this no matter how hard she tries, just nobody just nobody knows what she goes through. And here, do you know what? I go through the same thing all the time, a lot, and it actually gives me a little, and it gives me and it depresses me, not gonna lie. So I wrote a song in dedication to her. This song in dedication to her because I can identify. Um, just not to, yeah, just to be open and honest about my health issues. I suffer through epilepsy. I suffer through seizures, and there were like 2 or 3 seizures that could have pretty much ended my life. And my memory and my awareness, my has and my executive functioning has just erased any form of normality and fluency that I can possibly live. Um, and there were plenty of times when people thought I was lying. For example, there was this one time this was like 3-4 years ago, just about, and my English 1A teacher, I forgot to turn in this assignment. It was a week late, and I explained to her how forgetful I was due to see, right now that it's going through. I can't speak fluently. She Just because it wasn't in front of her face, I explained to her what it's like for me to forget things. And I'll tell you what it's like, audience. Think of it this way. Think of you. Well, there are 2 ways to think about this, and we'll put it in digital kind of senses. Think of it in memory wise. Try to think of it. You're trying to jam a terabyte worth of data into a 1 megabit flash drive, or a memory stick, 1 megabyte memory stick. It's impossible. You can't do that all at once. So that's how I am. Like, I have to do slowly, like increments. I have to learn a little bit at a time, and I can't remember every single thing. Analogy number 2 is for seizures, like what I go through. It's like when you have a computer virus and it crashes. You have all of your stuff, years and years worth of data, uh, pictures, documents, files, you name it. Then it has this huge crash. Then once it's functional again, after a certain period of time, maybe 1 or 2 files you remain, but you mainly have to start from the ground floor. So, and that's really hard to explain to people, and not many people can take that. And that's the thing is that I don't want my disorder, my seizures, or my any of my disabilities that I have, even my executive functioning, to be blatant. I don't want. I hide it. I hide it because I know nobody will understand. They'll make some form of excuse, or they'll tell me like some sort of like shallow thing. They'll say, "Oh yeah, I know exactly how this is. Shut up. No, you don't. You don't know what it's like to be you don't know what it's like to lose your memory. Like, you just don't. And if you do, and if you actually do, I totally sympathize with you. But I'm just talking about the people who think that losing your memory is like having a little brain fart, or forgetting a certain grocery from the freaking store when you're exhausted. I hide that a lot to myself. And Joy does her best. I saw she does her best to not make it much of a big deal, because of the same reasons. She knows that nobody will understand, because it's something that's just so outlandish and so unheard of that not many people can relate. And that just alienates you. That alienates anybody that goes through stuff like that. So people like Joy and I, we kind of, and anybody who goes through this, we're kind of like, well, we can try to explain to anybody, but I stand alone. I can go through this all day. They'll never get it. I just and there it exhausts you, and you're just alienated from everybody, because nobody cares to understand your struggles, cares to understand what you go through. And that just makes you feel alone, because it's really hard to find people who can relate to what you go through. Even, again, I can't identify, to be honest, I can't identify with Joy's disorder, or anybody's disorder, or anything that they've developed, any health issue. But I can relate, if not identify, to the outcome. Uh, it's think of it this way. It's like saying two. It's like having a 3, 4 math equations. Let's say it's kind of like saying 2 plus 2, 2 times 2, and 2 squared. It's same numbers, same answers, just different way, just a different way of putting it. So I mean, we all have what I'm trying to say is that we all have disorders of some sort, some form of disability, the same outcomes, but to be honest, it's just the different types. And to be honest, when I saw that just hit way too close to home for me. And I wrote the song because I'm saying I seriously can't. I can't handle someone that I dear just go through this. It's disheartening. It's disheartening and torturous to see anybody go through something like that. To go through what I go through. To be basically, as the song says, alone in all surroundings. And what I mean, you just stand alone. Nobody understands what you go through. Nobody can identify. That's how a lot of people feel. And how a lot of people can identify. It's just that they just can't say it because you can't put it in words. And it's just disheartening and demoralizing because you can't. Because it's not blatant to everybody's eyes. Because and this is the type of stuff, to be honest, that I'm not gonna go as far as to say that a lot that everybody is gonna end up like this, but being misunderstood and feeling alienated just is a recipe for that person. It depends on the person, but you're risking that person is in high. I shouldn't say high, but there's a chance. But there's a chance for everything. But there is a chance that they might commit suicide. They might do something crazy and cause mayhem for attention, just for someone to try to understand them. Try to understand their pain, their suffering, their whatever they're going through. And just so many people just ignore them. But there are others like me and Joy, who and along with my other friends, who just don't make this into a big deal. We have to hold it in. And to everybody who goes through what I go through, or even what Joy goes through, I'm not talking about physically, but I'm talking about the psychological and emotional state. I know how that feels. Again, it's not I'm not saying this, I can pretty much relate, if not identify. again, it's disheartening to see someone suffer like that, to be alone, and just to. But I mean, at the same time, what can you do? How can you express it to people who don't even want to listen, or even don't know how to listen? That's what the song's about. And Joy, if you're watching, it's written for you. It'll always be for you, and it's always going to be for everybody who can relate and identify to the emotion and the message of the song. But it always will have your name on it, Joy. Just I wish I can I wish I can physically be there for every one of you and talk to you so that, and say, you know, it would be great to just like tell what we all go through, and it's just comforting to know that someone sympathizes with you because they can help you out. I don't know how to help all of you out there physically, but psychologically, emotionally, I'm always here for you. I'm always there for everybody. I'll always be there for you. You can always listen again. You can listen to my music. I'll be doing some more. This is not gonna be the only song I bring up or I write. It's just that since I'm basically a one-man band, I produce and play and practice and mix and master all my stuff on my computer. It's just a little. It just takes a little longer. I'm working on another one right now. Not this second, but I recently started working on another. But I hope I just hope things will only things. There's nowhere to go but up. Just always know that for everybody. I have to deal with that every single day, every single second. And the best thing is just not to think about it and just persevere. Try to not make it a big deal. And when you persevere, you actually end up proving many people wrong. And that's what you should do. If there's so many doubters, detractors, the biggest middle finger to them is you improving, you not making this into a big deal, which is good. But you're not alone. You're never alone. I'm always here. Anyways, again, I hope everyone enjoyed this the song. Just please do your best and give it, spread it, just give it, spread it, and promote it and promote it love. Just promote love. Namaste. Namaste, everybody.